Hello there, and welcome to the Stay Off My Lawn podcast, where we'll have a little fun, lots of laughs, and discussions on the common sense that needs to be applied to a lot of today's world news issues. And now, the disclaimer. Stay Off My Lawn is not intended as legal, medical, or financial advice. Void where prohibited. No purchase necessary to win. Open to legal U.S. residents 18 or over in the contiguous 48 states. Any resemblance to anyone living or deceased is purely coincidental. Actual price may vary. Only use as directed. Not a member of FDIC. And now, here are your hosts, Mike and Richard.
You know, we ought to tag on some side effects, maybe. You know, it's like, you know,
These kind of side effects.
No, I mean, you know, we were watching TV last night, and it's like the one commercial. I don't even know what it was for, but it's like these drug commercials. They have all these lists of side effects, and one of them we keep seeing the same over and over. Like I said, I still don't know what it's for, but it's like one of the side effects is acne and swelling and pain and itching between the anus and genitals. I'm like going, I wouldn't hate to be the voiceover guy. And even Barbara goes, could you get through that? It's like, I don't know, maybe. I don't know. But it's like,
it was hard getting through that one when I did it.
Yeah. But we ought to add some side effects. May cause thinking for yourself and something. So all that to say is welcome to this week's edition of Stay Off My Lawn. It's May 5th, Cinco de Mayo.
Yipa, andale.
Yesterday was May the 4th be with you. This is 2026. It's still, I believe. And
is that May the 4th, or is that a different? Is that the wrong thing? Phasers set to stun. Is that not May the 4th be with you?
That's Star Trek, not Star Wars.
I used to do that with my classes. No, that's not it used to just crack me up because I'd be so serious. Oh yeah, May the 4th. Yeah, that's it.
I would have said it's that Spaceballs movie. I've seen that.
But they're going to have Spaceballs 2s coming out.
I can't believe that
he's almost 100 years old and still making movies.
He's still alive, and he's still funny. I mean,
he's 99 and sharp as a tack.
Yeah, it's incredible. I don't know.
Mel Brooks, in case you didn't know who we're talking about.
Yeah, Mel Brooks. Yeah. But yeah, you go back in some of those movies like Spaceballs. I watched Spaceballs probably 15, 20 years ago again. And it's sort of like, and some of it was like, really? It's like Blazing Saddles. You know, any of his old movies, it's sort of like, wow.
One of my favorites, Blazing Saddles. He rides. That's what the wife has on her phone when I call her.
Oh, really?
It starts out with whoosh, and just makes her jump every time it happens. It's like, really? Why do you have it on there for? But okay. That's why.
Silly movies of that genre. One of my favorites is The Princess Bride. I mean, there's.
Oh, my girls love that. My God, they saw that. Ay, ay, ay.
What a great movie. What a great movie. Anyway.
We sat and watched Maverick 2 again, the second one.
Oh, did you?
Top Gun Maverick the other day. And it's a really good 2. They're going to have 3.
Are they really
coming? So they'll have a trifecta, the triple, whatever. So
what's his name? Tom Cruise is like my age. So I mean, he's going to come out there with a cane.
He's just right at 60, or going to be this year or something.
Oh, is that? Or maybe he's a little bit
younger. He's pretty close to 60. He ain't far from it. If only there was something we could use to find out.
I can't think of it.
It might even be the same device you would use to, say, look up and find out how to get a birth certificate. Okay.
Oh yes, it could be something. You know, if there was something, I can't think of anything that we could have. So forget it.
Okay, but we digress. We have things to do today.
We do digress.
But we do have, 76 countries? We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for listening. And the 3,000 downloads, and we're climbing, and we appreciate every one of you. Don't forget to tell a friend about us.
We've gone from 55, I think, just back in February to 76. I mean, it's moving. And we're moving on up. Anyway,
I don't know if it's the east side or not. And for me, it would be the west side.
I'm really bad at directions, so I don't have any idea. If your income, let's say if you live in the state of Washington and your income is over $1 million, guess what? You're in for a treat.
Yay! Oh boy, I love being a lefty.
It's a pat on the back, a kiss on the forehead, whatever you want to say.
I
But
don't know where if that's exactly where the kiss is.
no, it might be a cinch in the face. Kind of hard to know. But starting in 2028, you're going to be taxed 9.9% every year for every dollar you earn over $1 million.
We're going to take 10% of what you worked your tail off for. And I don't like hearing this. Oh, they inherited it. Yeah, there's not so much of that. No, a lot of people made it.
Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with making it. I mean, you got to think of. We just met Rick Jackson, who's running for governor here in the state of Georgia. He was at our local GOP meeting, and this I think it was last Tuesday, and so we met him. Good guy. He was brought up in the foster care system, and by the time he was like 22, 23 years old, he had built a business where he was a multimillionaire. And he's a billionaire now. He can't be bought by outsiders, sort of like Trump in the same way. So I mean, but he's still a down to earth dude, and I think he's going to make a great governor. We've already voted. Early voting started last week here, and so we voted in the primary. So hopefully he'll be the nominee on the Republican side. I think we've got 6 or 7 people on the Republican side running for governor.
There's something else Washington State is working on that probably will be struck down by their Supreme Court, but who knows? They're all lefties there.
Yeah.
They're also wanting to implement a income tax, which they don't currently have, and why people have moved there is that, well, you get to keep all of what you make, you get taxed elsewhere, but
Right.
so
I'm sure
and now
sales tax is high. I know in Tennessee, sales tax is like 11%. So
it's 8, I think there. And by the way, just for your edification, yes, I did use that fancy device I was showing you. Tom Cruise is older than you are. He's
is he?
63.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, good. Well, happy
Yeah, when you
birthday,
get up
guy.
in that plane and you flip one of these switches.
Enjoy that third movie and try to eat a lot of prunes because you never know when you get in that plane. Sometimes you're up there a good 20 minutes or so.
Well,
Um,
and in New York, Mom Donnie says that nobody should be a billionaire.
yeah.
Really? Because he doesn't know anything about it. His parents worked their tail off and they're worth all kinds of money.
Well, eventually there'll be no billionaires left in New York anyway. So in his little bubble, there won't be any billionaires.
No,
So
there won't. They
yeah.
will go.
Um,
And you talk, people go, well, they shouldn't have that. Really? Did you sacrifice and live in your office and sleep there and eat there and not leave it for like 6 months trying to get things up and running? Because that's
and that's
all
the
you
thing.
did. You had no social life. That is it. Did
Say
you
what you will
sacrifice?
about Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos and those guys that from the Pacific Northwest that worked their tail off and started off in their garage and did their thing. Now I think they're both of them are very distasteful people, but I
Yes.
mean they made their money. I mean, and Washington was one of only 9 states that didn't have any income tax, and I think this 10% that's going to be every year. That 10% in New York is just a one-time deal. That's on net worth. This is only on income in Washington State. But yeah, Washington was one of only 9 states that doesn't have any income tax. So I mean, they're changing things around. They're looking around and going, yeah, but Jimmy down the street's got income tax. Why can't we have it? I don't understand.
Well,
Well,
and they're saying that there's going to be a huge influx of people from Washington into northern Idaho,
yeah,
up around Lake Coeur d'Alene, and
wouldn't be
you got
surprised.
Sandpoint, and they're going to just come in there and ruin that like the Californians did our area. We've had so many people move in. In 5.5 years, 150,000 people have moved in to 2 counties. If you include 2 other counties, it's just under 200,000 in 5.5 years. And they're going, well, your traffic here is just like California. Yeah, it was fine until all you bozos moved here.
How do you keep up with housing? Are they just building apartment buildings or what?
Oh, they're going up just. It's like you see them starting all of a sudden, and they're up, and then cars are there.
Yeah.
The next time you go by, they're moved in.
In the last 5 or 6 years around here, we've had a lot of apartment buildings being built, and traffic is outrageous. I mean, considering what it was 5, 6, 7 years ago, it's night and day. So we've got similar things. They're just coming from different places.
Yeah.
But Seattle's socialist mayor Katie Wilson responded exactly how you might think when asked about this.
I think the claims that millionaires are going to leave our state are like super overblown, and if the ones that leave, like bye.
So she doesn't care. She doesn't care.
No, I love all the clapping seals out in the audience. That's wonderful.
Oh my gosh! Well, because of this,
there's a lot of seals up there too. What?
There is. That's true.
Yes.
It's near the water, I think. Because of this tax, supposedly Starbucks, named synonymous with Seattle, is going to Nashville and reportedly investing $100 million in the project in Nashville for their corporate headquarters, or at least one of their corporate headquarters. I'm not sure, but they're moving about 2,000 corporate jobs, which probably make close to $1 million a year, to Nashville. So, I mean, Nashville's going to be overrun. I certainly wouldn't want to live there either.
No, just because Tennessee's just getting inundated as well. Apparently, she didn't see what happened to Hochul when she said that, and she just thinks that's all they're going to. Starbucks has also shut down a lot of their stores inside of Seattle proper.
Yeah.
They just shut them down. It's like, no, we're not paying that extra because you had a business. You had to pay people. I think it was up to something like $20 an hour to have somebody make you make coffee.
Oh,
$20 an hour. Okay,
well,
they went, yeah, we're not paying it, and then they just shut the stores down. So how's this working out for them so far?
They had that strike not long ago. I got a little bit about that too. They had that strike that Starbucks had a strike against their company, and of course, is it Katie Porter? Is that her last name?
In California?
Yeah, no, in Seattle.
Oh,
Katie,
no, Porter's in California.
Oh,
she's that loon in California trying to be a governor. Get out of my shit, I told you. Anyhow, she's such a wonderful human being.
Anyway, this Katie person in Seattle, I can't think of her last name, was asked about this, and she did that socialist dance that they normally do to avoid the question. And here's how that went.
What's your reaction to Starbucks?
Do you have an additional comment about Starbucks expanding to Nashville? And does it? But this is a chance for us to ask you just your thoughts about it. And is there any concern about other businesses leaving? Because this is a big Starbucks in Seattle.
This is again not the subject of our.
But it's what the city's talking about too.
Yeah, she didn't. It didn't matter.
This is not what we're talking about right now. Too bad. And I like how the reporter said, well, they're having another corporate office. No, they're leaving Washington. They are packing up and going, that's all, folks. And across the country.
I think it was according to Forbes or Kiplinger, I can't remember where I read this, but Washington State is looking to lose $750 million in revenue from them packing up shop and moving. So, I mean, that's statewide. So Seattle, if they have their own city tax, which I believe they do, it's going to be even worse than that. But yeah, when she was first elected, this Katie woman, she called for a boycott of Starbucks because of that whole strike. That they didn't want to wear a different colored vest. That was part of it. I'm like,
it was something really petty.
Anyway,
it was like the Mean Girls were going, but this doesn't match the rest of our outfit. Oh.
I know. It sounds like the Pacific Northwest to me. But for us Southerners, and thinking, yeah, well, that's how those people are. Anyway, but someone recently took a shot near an event where she was speaking at, and when she was asked about more surveillance cameras in the area to kind of help combat crime, that the local people want this. This is how they avoided the answer here too.
I talked to people in that neighborhood who said that. Hold on, there's just one last question. people in that community who are concerned that there's been rising gun violence and that there should be more surveillance cameras and that kind of thing. That's obviously been an issue that you weighed in on. Does that change it? Does that change your perspective at all?
Let's keep it on. Yeah, let's keep it on the top of this event. Thanks.
But does that change your perspective at all?
Yeah.
Appreciate it, but let's keep it on top. Okay. She's about to answer the question now.
Let's keep it on topic.
Shuffled her away. It was it. That was KOMO out of Seattle, which I got to give them credit for actually pressing on her. But they shuffled her away. It's like, no, she's not answering that question.
She's too stupid to answer it. She can't. But we're not just going to say this is not on topic. What do you mean not on topic? I'm sorry, you're the mayor of this city, and what you're doing, we want to know why and what the heck's going to happen.
Exactly. How do you get elected to office and not be able to pivot when somebody asks you a question? I mean, you and I are not professional. I mean, I've been in broadcasting before, but we're not professional. If somebody asked us a question about our beliefs or our stances on things, I could easily answer the question. It might not be to their liking, but I can answer it. I know you could too.
Well, if you listen to our intro, it's right in the beginning, and we're still doing what we did 161 episodes ago. This is what we do. That's kind of our doctrine, if you will. We know this is it. We're conservative and we have fun with it, and we're gonna laugh at some of the stuff that hasn't got the common sense God gave a rock.
But I think that's the difference, though, with us. It's like, yes, we do have fun with this, absolutely. But it's like when you truly believe what you say and you're not being propped up by somebody else, you don't have to stop and think, what am I supposed to say here? No, it's easy. It's all about common sense. Again, if it doesn't look, I break with the Republicans, and I know you do too, on a lot of things, because to me, it doesn't make any common sense.
Yep. So we don't have a problem if something's not right. We'll tell you, no, absolutely. That's So
but anyway, Katie is supposedly adamantly against those surveillance cameras, specifically because ICE agents may be able to use them to do their job.
I'm waiting for them to make a law that ICE is not allowed to. Go ahead, make whatever you want. It's secession clause is you're gonna lose because you don't have no jurisdiction over that.
Yeah, that's the thing. But that's what Democrats do. They say whatever they think that people want to hear. Whether they can follow through or not is irrelevant.
Well, I did my best.
Like you said, the supremacy clause, you can't get past that. That's just the way it works.
Secession tonight. Supremacy. There is a difference.
I know what you meant. Yeah. So anyway, that's if you live in Washington, I feel bad, man, but move to Idaho. I heard it's nice there.
Shh, no more of that. Damn it.
He's had enough. He's had enough of you people. Go back home. Go to Oregon. Do something else. Yeah, it's not any better there either. After being in business for 34 years, Spirit Airlines, the discount airline that my wife has actually flown on this airline some years ago. She flew to Clearwater, Florida, to visit a friend down there, and so anyway, it's out of business. They tried to merge with JetBlue. Was it 2 years ago? About 2 years ago? 3 years ago?
Somewhere in through there, 2.5, something like that. I don't think it was 3, but it's somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
It was before Trump came in, so the last year of Biden, I think.
Yeah, they were denied under President Otto Penn and his cronies. Most notably, Elizabeth Warren was really kind of a big proponent not to have that happen. Our friends over at Chicks on the Right kind of put it together more succinctly than we could. So I actually recorded some of their podcast. Here we go.
Elizabeth Warren said, I have warned for months that a JetBlue Spirit Airlines merger would have led to fewer flights and higher fares. The Justice Department and the U.S. DOT were right to stand up for consumers and fight against runaway airline consolidation. This is a Biden win for flyers. This is, of course, after the Biden administration blocked that merger.
Right.
And Spirit, they've already, filed for bankruptcy once. They were really, really hoping for this merger to take place so that they could survive. And now we've seen what happens. And so this was super odd too, that on April 30th, just a couple of days before Spirit made the announcement, Elizabeth Warren again was tweeting about this, saying the big four airlines, American, Delta, Southwest, and United, control 75% of the U.S. market. Fewer choices equals higher prices for you. After the announcement, she said spiking fuel prices from Trump's war was the nail in the coffin for twice bankrupted Spirit Airlines. For what it's worth, JetBlue merger failed because a judge appointed by Ronald Reagan said the deal was illegal. Republicans are desperate to shift blame from higher costs hitting families, which is utter nonsense. Before she was like, this is Biden's win for flyers. And now she's like, this was Reagan's fault.
It's basically Trump and Reagan's fault.
So, I mean, it doesn't end. They just... It's got to be a conservative's fault. It's just
all they know how to do is this and point. It's you. It's not me. Look for a mirror and go, hey, I found the person who's in charge.
Now, the way I understand it, JetBlue was not necessarily one of those super low cost airlines like Spirit was, but if they consolidated, that would have been. We've got plenty of airlines that and some of them serve other parts of the country that don't get serviced by others, and I mean, we don't have a lot of. American Airlines flights in here. We have a lot of Delta and Southwest. It's kind of the big ones here in Atlanta. But, you know, we have a bunch of different airlines that come through here. You know, I mean, airlines come and go. Think about Eastern and Frontier and Continental. I mean, they've all either been absorbed by other.
Frontier's come and gone like twice.
I know.
They existed, they went, and then they came back again, and I'm not sure where they're at the moment. Nobody seemed to complain when Hawaiian Airlines was bought up and merged into Alaska Airlines.
Alaska Airlines, yeah.
So
that was recently too, right?
Yeah, that's not been that long ago. They still have Hawaiian Airline planes because it cost $300,000 to repaint the plane.
That's incredible. Well, you got to put the stickers on there, and you got to really work the bubbles out of them. It's a pain in the butt. So I don't know. I mean, it was such a win for the Biden administration not to approve or to make sure that wasn't approved, that merger. And then, now they're like going, well, you know, I mean, now
over 1,000 jobs gone.
It was all about the consumer. Now the consumer's paying anyway. It's insane, and it's Reagan's fault.
Spirit and JetBlue would have been something probably getting to be bigger size, closer to Southwest.
Yeah, probably. And they just didn't want that, I guess, you know, because big corporations always mean bad things. And Southwest is pretty big, and we're going to Texas pretty soon, and we got a pretty good deal on a flight to Texas, even with the high gas prices and everything. I mean, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't bank breaking.
The flight to Hawaii wasn't anything great. Yeesh.
You rich people go to Hawaii. We go to Houston. So,
I don't have to pay no hotel fees. And I get to see grandsons all in one swath. Oh, yeah, my daughter and son-in-law live there too. But, you know.
Yeah, those people.
Yeah, them.
Those people. Yeah, my granddaughters were over here yesterday. Oh, and it was like, and this is a completely side story, but we were laughing about this morning, is that one of them sat on my lap and wanted to go outside. She came over and sat, and she goes, she kind of like grabbed a hold of my face. Papa, please, can we go outside? Please. And just looking at me with those little blue eyes, and I'm like going, and my wife had to turn away and look the other way because she was laughing. And I'm like going, he's not going to resist that. He's going to have to go outside. And that's what we did, because we had been outside all day. And it's like, well, I had to go back outside and put our feet in the pool. Okay.
Yeah, mine would stand behind him if I was trying to get after him about something, and they've got a face or whatever. She'd just go stand behind him, you know, laughing. It's like, you're not making this easy for me.
Huh? My son and my wife both were like over there just hiding their face because they were dying.
Hard not to laugh at him. I used to laugh at my oldest one so much that she asked her mom, how come Daddy laughs at me all the time? She goes, my wife threw me under the bus. She goes, well, I don't know, dear. You'll have to ask him. So when I got home from work, she asked me. She goes, Dad, why do you laugh at me so much? Oh, sweetie, I'm not laughing at you. You just do things in a way that's funny that I hadn't thought of before, and it's okay. And I said, I'm not laughing at you. It's you do things I just would have never thought of. And I find them humorous. And she goes, okay. And that was it.
I would have just said, because you're silly. That's just
because you're 3 and you're hilarious.
Hilarious. Exactly. Yeah. Gee, goodness gracious. Anyway.
Okay. Anyway, back to our regularly scheduled program.
Oh, do I still have that? Oh, hang on a second. I don't think I have it anymore. I had a thing, and I don't have the thing anymore. Oh, we can do this. Okay, we have.
Yeah, that was worth the wait.
That was worth the wait. Or we could do this.
A few moments later.
Anyway, the radio show Charlemagne the God, or the Breakfast Club by guy Charlemagne the God, interviewed Ilhan Omar. I think it was last week.
Hot to be interviewed.
Oh, she was ready, and and you could just tell she was like just happy to be there. It's like I'm with my people.
And since we're not on topic all the way around, this is actually on topic. Just read this morning that Somali went, oh, you tell us when, we'll take her back. You just tell, and we will send her home because her family is not like there at all.
Really? Wow.
Yes. They left because her daddy he was run out of the country because they were communist.
Yeah.
Who would have saw that?
Like what I told you when she was talking to her husband, it's like, if you don't stop, I'm going to tell mom.
Yeah.
Anyway, because she married a brother.
That was the best one I've seen you do in a while. It just cracked me up.
Good. Anyway,
Grandpa, Uncle Daddy. Anyway.
She didn't expect any tough questions, and it kind of made her dance too, just like Katie did. And here's how that went.
I haven't seen a single investigation.
I was wondering to know.
Yeah,
is there an investigation?
If you know of some, let me know.
I wouldn't call it an investigation. There's just been a focus on the rapid increase in your household wealth tied to your husband's company.
Well, they have to make a choice to investigate, right? Like, do they choose to investigate or not?
I mean, if you've done something illegal, you would investigate.
But they're not investigating you.
I have not been made aware of an investigation into me or my family.
But when you look at the increase in your household wealth tied to your husband's companies, you understand why that raises questions for people watching from that. Outside.
Yeah, but that's again one of the it's their saying, right? Like there is no wealth increase. If you look at my husband's income, it's almost non-existent. He's helped make sure our children are, going to college, and our young one is taken care of. There is no wealth. There are ranges to businesses that he was invested in. I'm pretty sure. I don't even know what.
Well, they say. Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Yes. They said you reported a net worth between $6 million and $30 million, and they said your 2023 disclosure was roughly $40,000. Between $40,000 and $250,000.
Yeah, but they're not net worths. They're like the asset things for the companies, and so I don't know what percentage of it my husband actually has investment in. Like that's not, you know what I mean? It's not a full picture of the numbers in the way that it is presented in the document, because in the documents we have to do ranges and we have to report in a way that is not detailed. It's not like your tax return that you're submitting for the public record to see.
But that is a big increase, though. So you could understand why people would ask questions.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure it'll get adjusted at some level when those ranges are looked at.
And I think I saw that your husband was asked to turn over some documents but didn't comply. So is that true?
From who?
I don't know. I guess the Department of Justice, I don't know.
The House Oversight Committee and the Government Reform Committee. That was what was reported. That I think it was early on in January, February, that he was asked to turn over emails and different things.
Yeah, there is no oversight that the Oversight Committee has over my husband or me. So why would you submit documents to an entity that has nothing to do with you?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have oversight over the government, and ethics is the one that has oversight over the member, not the spouse.
But you are the government. You work for the government. I mean,
Christmas. Oh my Lord, he was dancing up a storm.
if it wasn't for the hijab, you'd be able to see all the sweat pooling up on her forehead. I mean, it was like, okay, she was dancing. I don't think she expected that question. So
never answered, and there was like, so I haven't heard of anyone. Like there should be, but they haven't.
I don't think she understands how investigations work. I think she still have this Somali background, is sort of like, well, I'm in the government. Nobody's going to ask me anything, because, that's one of those.
Well, and that was the other problem with her dad when he was the premier king, whatever the heck they were over in Somalia, was corrupt as all get out. Who would have ever thought that?
Who would have ever thunk it? Exactly.
Yeah. But recently she did revise, and it was her accountant's error. She took her accountant, threw her under all the rear tires of the bus. It was like, are you serious? It went from 30 million. Oh, did we put down too much? Oh, well, here, let's fix that. I think they went back down to something like 80,000.
Like 95,000. Yeah.
Yeah, it went way down.
I mean, an accounting error does not normally include that many zeros. But I mean,
that's, oops, okay. Did I hold my finger on that zero button? Oh, look at what I did.
That's what it was. It was just somebody fat fingered the zero, and it was.
Oh my Lord!
But all this is starting to happen while the acting AG Todd Blanche has been in charge, which I've been impressed with him. I got to admit,
he's done more than talk heavy Bondi did.
Yep, absolutely. And I'm not I wanted Pam Bondi to do well, but she didn't do jack. And this guy's, he's only been in charge for about a month now, and he's put investigations into the Minneapolis child care fraud, the California hospice centers, the Fauci inner circle stuff, that his number 2 guy, the SPLC fraud, of course now the James Comey thing. And of course we were talking about that during the promo, the James Comey thing. Let's hit that real quick before we go to break. But I don't think that's going to go anywhere. What's your take on that? That whole 86-47.
Yeah, the thing they're going after him about is it's on thin ice.
Yeah,
it's one of those deals where, okay, that's what you're going to get him for when he did so many other way more nefarious acts. So
yeah, and this seems so easily to be able to put in the category of reasonable doubt. Did he know what 86-47? Yeah, probably. I would
did
bet.
He put the shells in that order? Yes, he probably did.
He probably did set it up like that.
Oh, but look what I found! Oh,
reasonable doubt. I mean, even though I know he's guilty, I can look at that and go, yeah. I mean, there's no hard evidence that he did anything. I mean,
do you know where the 86 came from?
From what I read, there's a various amounts of stories. I always heard it was Delmonico Steakhouse in New York City, but that was the Delmonico steak was number 86 on the list, and they always ran out. So when the 86th, it was when they were out of stuff.
Yes, it's in the restaurant business. That's always been 86. That where
right,
have no more fish.
When I worked in restaurants.
Yeah. The fish it's 86. Okay, got it. Everything that I keep going back to was when they started Las Vegas. When they were starting all the casinos there, when they took a little podunk dirt town and built it up. Why they chose there, I don't know. The laws were better, I guess. I don't know. Anyhow, what it was take somebody out 8 miles and put them 6 feet down.
Oh, really? I never. I've not heard that.
That's 86ing.
So I mean, but if you Google it, there's a lot of different explanations, but obviously that's one. But yes, I mean, I only knew it in the restaurant context because I worked at restaurants.
Same here.
So I mean, but still, I mean, they're back in 1965, and a lot of people may not remember. I didn't know this story. I read it just the other day. It's been verified though, but back in 1965, an 18-year-old anti-war protester, Robert Watts, famously threatened LBJ's life by saying that if they ever make me carry a rifle, the first man I want to get in my sights is LBJ. That seems pretty bad. He was actually convicted for making a threat against the president, made it all the way to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court threw it out. And in their words, they said, that it was political hyperbole and not really a true threat. So if they threw that out,
yeah, that's
I don't
why
think an 86-47 shell thing is going to.
Yeah, I don't. I'm going, that's what you're going to bring him up on, and okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you have the judge apologizing to the clown that was armed to the teeth trying to kill all kinds of people in the Washington Correspondents' Dinner. He was apologizing. And boy, Judge Jeannie did not like that at all.
Now, does she have any power to get rid of him, or probably
I don't
not.
know, but they're looking at impeaching him.
As it should be. I mean,
as well as another judge down in Florida, which Florida probably could get rid of him.
That reminds me, real quick before break, they were talking about judges. I was listening to Clay Travis, this is a couple of weeks ago, and he made an excellent point, which I wanted to make on the podcast. I'm going to give him total credit for this. But when a judge makes a decision to take somebody who's been convicted or been arrested 47 times or whatever, they're here illegally, the whole thing, and they turn around and put them right back out on the street, and they commit a murder or they commit some kind of crime where somebody dies, they're driving drunk, something. Why are those judges not held accountable for that? And the correlation he gave, I thought, was brilliant, because if you're in a bar and the bartender keeps serving you drinks, even though you're already totally inebriated, and you go out and drive and kill somebody, they can be civilly, at least, held liable for
overserved.
Yeah,
they put that in recently. So why does that not happen to a judge? I'm with you. I think that's totally reasonable.
I think it
is. And not just the judge going, oh, my bad, oopsie, well.
It's like judges are untouchable, and I think that needs to change.
Yep.
Judges, they stand on their politics too much, and it's like, I understand that the Supreme Court, there's political sides and everything, but really when it comes down to it, does the Constitution say this or does it not? And even in the lower courts, is it just or is it not? I mean, there shouldn't be that much gray area. I don't know. They get too much leeway. So, speaking of violence, when we come back, we're gonna talk about political.
When we come back, wait a minute.
We're going to talk about some violence. It's a lot of fun talking about violence. But we're Katie Pavlich from News Nation was talking about the violence between the conservatives and the liberals. And is it really are they really equal? Are they the same? Do we have the same amount of violence from both of them? I don't think so. Yeah,
the scales on the Lady of Justice kind of do this.
Yeah, it's really not. And we have the receipts, or somebody has the receipts, and we'll give that to you when we come back. So hang in there.
It's all about common sense and fun. We'll be right back.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real Men of Genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Fake Tattoo Inventor.
Mr. Fake Tattoo Inventor.
Through the miracle of hypoallergenic adhesives, you transform us from mild-mannered accountant into roadhouse biker hooligan. Be it screaming skull or thrashing tiger, you've got a temporary alter ego for any occasion.
Flaming dragons.
What else says, I love you, Mom, like a heart with a sword through it?
You know I love you, Mama.
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, Mr. Fake Tattoo Inventor guy. We may not have been born to ride, but thanks to you, we can feel like it.
Thank you, Mr. Fake Tattoo Inventor.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Oh, Lord.
Those much anymore. It's fake tattoos.
Those are the best.
Used to get them in like bubblegum, or in baseball cards and stuff. You used to get with bubblegum, and there would be, you don't even see that anymore. Do baseball cards come with gum anymore? Used to be that real hard piece of.
Oh, it was the worst gum ever. You'd go to, and you'd almost chip a tooth to break a piece off of it.
It was like it was made in the 50s or something. It was terrible.
And it had all that, wasn't even powdered sugar, cornstarch over top of it.
Whatever it was. Yeah.
Yes,
white.
it was
It had a white
cornstarch. That's
powder
what they
on it.
use. Yeah, it's, oh,
I don't even know if they make that anymore. So
you go, well, I just want to break it in half. You do that and it just shatter into a million pieces.
Like a piece of glass. It was awful.
It's terrible. You drop it on a tile floor, it just goes.
But the fake tattoos, I mean, you just don't see, they used to be everywhere. I mean,
Well, they talk about it on one of the latest Geico commercials. The guy pulls up. See, my newest boyfriend, he rides a motorcycle. Oh, it's just something to relax on the weekends with. Oh, well, that's nice. He's got a tattoo. He goes, yeah, my niece had it. See, she stuck it on there. Oh, that's adorable. I cut all my hair off. Well, I stand corrected. You look wonderful. She just wants to try to get back in her purse. And it's not working. It's hilarious. But the temporary tattoo was from his niece, and that's so cute.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. You're a rebel without a clue with the temporary. I love it. I love it. Well, anyway, recently on News Nation, I think it was last week, Katie Pavlich asked Geraldo Rivera, of all people.
Oh, jeez.
I wouldn't ask him for the time of day, but anyway, she asked him about political violence, and he, of course, gave the pat left-wing answer that it's equal on both sides. And Batia Ungar Sargon was there and was asked if she agreed. And she did not agree, and she brought the receipts. Here's how that went.
Geraldo brought up this idea that the left and the right are equal when it comes to calls for violence or acts of violence. You have done an amazing job of digging through the data, and what did you find?
All right, so Geraldo, see if you find this compelling,
okay.
All right? So it seems to me that there are three main sources that you hear a lot from the mainstream media that allegedly prove that the problem we have right now of political violence is a both sides problem. There's the Cato Institute, there's the Prosecution Project out of the University of Cincinnati, and then there's the Center for Strategic and International Studies. And these are all always shared by the likes of The Economist, the Wall Street Journal today shared Center for Strategic and International Studies. The problem is when you dig down into that data, it is so deeply flawed. Let me just give you a few examples, okay? The Prosecution Project, supposed to list all of the acts of political violence in America, does not list Charlie Kirk's assassination, does not list Trump's assassination attempts, does not list any George Floyd violence. 24 Americans lost their lives during those riots, not listed. But every white nationalist who's a drug dealer, that gets listed. So they list 33 white Aryans, Aryan Nation people who had a meth lab. This is political violence because they happen to be white nationalists. All right, Cato does not list the 9/11 victims, does not list any George Floyd violence. Center for Strategic and International Studies, where does it get its data from? The ADL, highly partisan, and the Southern, which just was revealed to have allegedly been funding the very racists that they were supposed to be fighting. And finally,
did you hear that? They clipped that out. The Southern Poverty Law Center.
Yeah, she didn't get to say it all. They
clipped
they cut
it.
that. It's like, no, we're not going to talk about them. That's going to be swept under the rug as fast as you can get a broom out and a dustpan.
Anyway, she goes on here.
I just have to mention this. The Center for Strategic and International Studies has in its methodology section, it says all anti-Semitism is right-wing. Any attacks on Jews or Jewish institutions, they reclassified it. If it was in the name of Palestinians, they reclassified it as ethno-nationalist. So by their definition, there's no such thing as left-wing anti-Semitism, which we all know is just nonsense. This is the data. It is flawed. Shame on the Wall Street Journal and shame on The Economist because they're giving a flawed view. And I totally agree with Katie. It would be so nice to say, kumbaya, we all share the problem. You cannot fix a problem if you are lying about what it is.
Yep, you can't fix it unless
even news they edited out the Southern Poverty Law Center. Why, I don't understand why we was even mentioned in that article. Give me a break.
Can't believe they did that, but I mean, okay, and maybe that was Instagram where we got that clip. I don't know, but whatever. But it's certainly not right.
The social media companies starting to do a whole lot of snipping and cutting, and nope, you can't say those things, naughty, naughty. And
I thought that was all gone. I thought that stopped.
No, they're still doing it. And I'm starting to hear more of it because the closer you get to the elections, the more of it happens. Why is that?
Midterm-itis? It's a disease with social media. It really is. I mean, these people are insane. Anyway, I saw that May 1st was Friday, right? Is that Friday?
Yes. Hooray, hooray. The 1st of May. Outdoor love making starts today. But that was a few days ago. We had good weather. It worked out nicely, but,
Yeah, bring your barf bag if you're going to walk around on May 1st, because you just don't know. There were 3,000 May Day protests all over the country. Now, May Day, from what we remember as kids, it was like some kind of mid-spring celebration. Woohoo, it's getting warmer and...
it was the maypole was a thing that you had colored things that went around the maypole, and it was spring and pastel colors, and I remember being in elementary school, which I remember very little of because I haven't got a brain to store all that. But
we used to, 5 minutes ago. So
we used to make construction paper baskets, and then you would go out in a field that had a bunch of flowers and stuff, and you put flowers in it, and then you would either take it home to your mom, or you could, if you made extras, and some did, and you would leave them for your neighbor. Well, we lived out in the country. My neighbor was grandma and grandpa. So, but you'd leave them on a doorstep, and that was May Day. And then the communists decided we're going to celebrate that. Hello, comrade. It's time for us to be. And
no, that's exactly right.
Show the world how wonderful. Look at all our tanks that we have.
Yep. For the last 125 years, May Day has been appropriated by trade union and socialist movements as a day commemorating accomplishments of workers, which doesn't sound too bad on the surface. But anyway, it was adopted at the first Congress of the Second International, which was a coalition of international socialist workers all over the country and all over the world, really, because they did start in the Soviet Union. But in 1889, they marked Chicago's Haymarket protests in 1886. So the celebration started in 89, but 3 years earlier there was a Haymarket protest in Chicago. During those protests, workers successfully demonstrated in favor of an 8-hour workday, as opposed to, we had read earlier, 20-hour workdays. Some people were getting. But of course, as left-wing protests go, the skirmishes that broke out between police and protesters, 11 people were killed. This is back in 1886. So anyway, that's kind of the whole thing. It was with May Day. That's why there were protests all over we didn't have anything like that here. I didn't see anything. So
we had nothing. And Idaho is a right-to-work state. No, there wasn't anything that happened here either.
Yeah, we're a right-to-work state too, but there's still a lot of unions here that, and the way it worked where I worked was that, you're free not to join the union, but really your union benefits, if you ever got in trouble or if the management ever got upset with you or wanted to get rid of you somehow, you wouldn't get the same kind of representation. It's just the way it works. You're not going to get the free representation. And that's just kind of, it depends on who you're working for. For the most part, being a right-to-work state doesn't change anything. So
no.
Mostly. So anyway, May Day has become a worldwide celebration of the international labor movement and was celebrated by as much by workers marching in the colors of their trade unions as it was by the neo-pagan rituals from the whole spring thing, and that's how that worked. So anyway, that's why people are upset about May Day, because it wasn't because people got killed, it's because people wanted 8-hour work days. And everybody wants to latch onto things just to be mad at people who make more money or whatever.
That's why I don't understand being how is it that you're miserable all the time, complaining about everything? You have no policies to say we're going to do that, with the exception of packing the court and a couple other things. Those are not policies to live by. That's why they don't talk about it much. But it's like, why do you want to go through life being that absolutely miserable for.
It's all about being angry. You're right.
Yeah, just constantly angry over nothing.
The left people I know now, there's only a handful of people I know that are left, and there's one of them that's been, he's a pretty decent guy. He doesn't really bring up politics, and he's a pretty happy-go-lucky guy. But most everybody is they always have this look on their face. It's like their face would crack if they smiled.
They're looking for something to be upset about.
Yeah. So anyway, now the fraud in the U.S. keeps getting uncovered. This time in Ohio with some the same old bad actors.
What? Did they move?
Let's figure out who these are. Anyway, Britt Hughes explains all of that.
If you pay taxes in this country, you need to listen up, because Luke Rosiak over at the Daily Wire just exposed one of the biggest and most blatant cases of Medicaid fraud I think I've ever seen. Columbus, Ohio, which just happens to house the second highest Somali population in the entire country, spent $1 billion on home health care in 2024 alone. And get this, the state of Ohio is one of several that has granted waivers so people can use Medicaid outside of its original intended purpose, like say checkups for low-income children. Instead, Ohio is actually paying people to go into Medicaid beneficiaries' houses and perform chores and cleaning services like cooking. Oh, and by the way, you don't actually have to be a licensed healthcare worker to do this. Many of the people performing these services are actually relatives of the Medicaid recipient. And because these services are being performed in homes, there's no way to verify whether they're actually doing it or whether someone is just saying that they're doing it. It gets better. Other home health care services covered by Ohio Medicaid include companionship and conversation, meaning that people are literally getting paid by taxpayers to hang out with their own relatives. Rosiak found one building in Columbus, Ohio that housed 94 home health care LLCs and which billed taxpayers a total of $66 million in Medicaid reimbursements in the span of about 3 years. Rosiak started looking up some of the people that ran these companies and found that nearly every single one of them is foreign, including a politician who founded an $11 million home health care company that he ran part-time, who funded his campaign with donations from other home health care workers. Another woman who rebranded her janitorial LLC as a health provider, then billed Medicaid nearly $100,000 in the first month. An accountant who lost his license for stealing public funds, then just opened up a $7 million home health care company using the address of a convicted money launderer's teenage son. And a landlord who bought airplanes after renting space to hundreds of home health care companies, which then billed Medicaid $250 million. Are you getting this? Third world cultures have figured out that they can come here, scam us out of millions of dollars, and get rich. And it's not even that hard. This is happening on our dime, under the nose of our government, likely with their knowledge, and with crickets from the news media whose job is supposed to be digging up this crap. And this right here, this is why hardworking, tax-paying Americans are so freaking fed up.
Again, just because it's in Ohio, it's Ohio's Medicaid program, they get a lot of funding from the federal dollars. So that's our tax money.
Yeah,
all
it's not just Ohio. That's all of us. When it goes into the pot, it comes from us. And they have figured out, and I still, and I think they've deported him since, was a gentleman, I believe, in Minnesota that said, you go to work. You go to work for me. I don't have to work. You go to work. I need your money. You go to work for me. Meaning he knew what was going on, and they knew where the money was coming. We don't have to work. We're the chosen. You people, now get rid of them all. I don't care. Whatever, that whole community is nothing but a bunch of crooks.
Oh, I know. And I didn't know Ohio had the second largest Somalian community in the country.
No, I thought it was San Diego, so I was really shocked.
I figured it's Michigan because there's a lot of
yeah, Muslims there.
Muslims there, yeah. So it's all just the fraud, and I believe we've just scratched the surface, because I bet every state in the country has something similar, because this paperwork, and if you've got this, is so easy to fill out, and you can just say that one building she said had 89 LLCs. I mean, I can fill out I've got a friend of mine that has an LLC for his voiceover business. It took him 10 minutes online, and he got a thing in the mail. I mean, it cost him $100. I mean, so if you can bill Medicaid, $100 is nothing. It's a drop in the bucket.
Yeah, and that's just what they're doing. They come over here, and 10 years, our buddy Gil from Texas.
Oh yeah. Gosh, can't think of his last name.
It's Gil. Anyway, he was going over. Yeah, in 10 years, it's gone from 70 to 73% or something. In 10 years, it hasn't changed. It's still, that community has something like 75% of their residents are all on welfare and hasn't changed in 10 years. They come over here, you're paying me. We just sit on our butts and, it's ridiculous.
Yep, it is.
No, if you're not, and Trump was going, you're going to have to get out there and do, 20 hours at least of community service, something. You've got to go work for what you're being given, and you're not going to be allowed to sit on your keister. And they're getting a lot of pushback for that, but American people go, we like that idea.
Exactly, because most of us have worked all our life and done things the right way. So, I mean, it's only fair. I mean, to bilk people's tax money. I mean, we give this tax money not out of our own volition, out of the kindness of our own heart. We give it to have the government funded to do the bare minimum. I don't want a lot of government, but to do the bare minimum, fix the roads and fund the schools and pay the teachers and pay the police officers. Yep. Totally get that. But man, when it comes to this kind of thing, we're talking billions and billions. I bet just the Minnesota alone and Southern California that we've known so far, not even counting this Ohio money, we're talking, a trillion
billion between, a trillion, whatever. By the time you get some of the other stuff added up, enough's enough. What does the left keep doing? We need more money. We need more money. No, we need to spend our money properly, and we need to know where that money's going. This is our money. You are not over us. We elect you, and a lot of these folks are going, they're going to vote me out. Cronin probably will not be back in the Senate.
Thune,
his time comes, he'll be gone.
Yeah, I think so too. And I know McConnell is gone. He said he wasn't going to come back.
Like December or something.
But I mean,
he's gone now. Let's just put it that way. He's gone now.
There was a big list of people that voted. Was it against not the SAVE Act, but something came out just recently. I think I sent you a link for that. But there was like 9 Republicans that voted for something that is like there's no reason a Republican should vote for that, and I can't remember what it was for. I sent it to my daughter-in-law. I have to look it up, but there's too many rhinos, way too many rhinos. They're as much of a problem as the liberal Democrats because they're putty in the hands of the people who give them money or just the Democrats themselves. It's annoying. It's annoying. In celebrating our 250th anniversary, actually in a couple of weeks, we are actually going to have a thing about birthright citizenship that Richard and I are going to record, and we're going to have that as one of our, because we're going to be out of town at the same time.
We're going to be worldwide travelers. I better make sure my passport's in order to go to Hawaii.
Go to Hawaii, yeah. You do that, Ilhan.
I thought I'm leaving the country. I'm moving to Hawaii. Some kid went. He goes, I got to guess. I got to get a passport. I'm going, what? You're going, okay.
I'm going to Alabama. I need to take my partial out and have my passport.
So you'll look like a local?
Exactly. But anyway, with the 250th anniversary, which we're not hearing a lot about, we're going to talk more about that. We're going to have that as a podcast. I don't even remember what week it is. It's a week in June anyway.
Is that the one in June? No, it's the one in, we're both going to be gone the 26th of May of this month, like in 3 weeks. So yeah, I got to get on this in the next couple of days.
Yeah, we'll have that.
It was my idea and I haven't recorded it yet.
You won't miss us too much. We're still going to be in your face. So,
we'll have something every week. We won't miss anything.
But anyway, Glenn Beck did an event called America 250. That was at Ellis Island up in New York this past weekend. And he told a story that I had never heard, but a lot of us need to hear about an immigrant from Scotland. Here we go.
As we were doing our research for this evening, and I was looking at the names of the people who came, Tina picked the date. She secured the building. She did all of the hard work. And as she gave me the date, I thought, I wonder if this date has any significance in history with Ellis Island. I want to tell you a story of a young woman in particular that you probably have never heard of. Her name was Mary Ann. She was born on the remote island of Lewis in Scotland. This is a place of hard, scrapping life, high winds. It was 1930. She was 18 years old, and she got on a boat to come to Ellis Island in 1930 on May 2nd. Today is the anniversary. She arrived here 11 days later. She was bound for Ellis Island and the United States of America. I want to show you a picture. It's a painting that I did, and then I ran out of time and talent, and so I asked a good friend of mine to help me, Mike Malm, who is an amazing portrait artist. This is how I envisioned her coming into the United States. She came here, she wasn't chasing fame, she wasn't chasing riches or power. She came just for the opportunity. Her sister was already here and found a job. And so she decided to come. She stood in this room and wrote her name down, Mary Ann McLeod. And next to it, what's your job? Domestic. She and her sister were maids. She came to America knowing that she would serve and clean the houses and the toilets of the wealthy families here in New York. And she roomed with her sister together. And they lived and worked hard through the worst days of the Depression. And she persevered. She's here for 6 years and she meets a man. She marries him. His name is Fred. He was the son of German immigrants. In 1942, she became a citizen, and Mary and Fred would end up having 5 children, 2 daughters and 3 sons. And one of those sons, they named him Donald. Her son would become a real estate tycoon. Her son would change that skyline. That's the skyline that she saw. Look out that window and look at that skyline. Her son, a woman who came here as a maid, the lowest of jobs, would raise a son who would become a real estate mogul and the 45th and 47th President of the United States of America. Scotland, give us your wretched refuse. Send them to us. See what the people you deem not worthy. See what happens to them here in America. I am telling you, there is no other country in the world on God's green earth where a woman can come here like that, and in one generation, her son leads the entire world. Where else could that happen?
Pretty cool story. I had never heard anything like that.
I hadn't either. That's God bless America, as they say. It's
Yeah.
I have stuff with my family coming in on my grandfather's side and settled in Missouri, and they had when Missouri was open to go get, they had 2 sections, so roughly 1,220 whatever acres it is. 640 I think is a section, and so if you get 2, that's 1,280. And I've learned all about my heritage and where it was at, and working the land, and then my grandfather rode the rails, worked hard. He rode underneath because he couldn't afford to go out west, and end up having property, and you can't just do that just anywhere.
No. You got to be motivated. And if you're motivated, that's what this country does. If you're motivated, you can do well. I just talked to a friend of mine that I went to high school with last week, and he went to college, and he does some consulting work for different safety places all over the country. He flies everywhere, and he does well. But for me, I mean, college was out of the question for me. I don't think I had the grades necessarily, but I also didn't have the money. And back then, if you didn't have the money, you didn't go.
Yeah.
Nobody racked up $100,000 worth of debt to go to college back then. Certainly nobody in my family. So it was like, so I come from when my family came here, at least on my father's side, I don't know much about my mother's side, but from my father's side, it was in the 1870s, I think, and blue collar people the whole way through, a lot of military service, a lot of just working. And we continue that today. My son works in a tire factory, and I worked at a brewery, and I mean, all these. That's what America is, and I ended up making some good choices with money. I ended up retiring at 55, and if you can use America to your advantage, because we do have so many good freedoms and so many opportunities here that you can't find anywhere else, and people have taken it for granted. And I think it's time for people to understand that it's unique here as compared to the rest of the world, even Europe.
Yep, it's amazing. I've got a nice piece of property that I have that I take care of in that, and I retired at 62 and actually making more money in retirement than I was when I worked. So we both kind of figure things out and for the long term. And the wife and I. 50 years last July, and life is good. If you've worked hard for stuff, who was it? Ben Shapiro was saying nobody should retire at 62. There's just, you sit in an office and you talk all day. Yes, it can be tiring, but it's not like you ran a heister every day for 8-10 hours a day. I ran a laundry route that some days were 12 to 15-hour days, and lumping and in and out of a truck and and that's why I got a new hip recently. I wore it out.
And in my 40s, I had, or my early 50s, no, it was in my 40s. I had my C6, C7 fuse because of bouncing in and out of those trailers. I mean, your body breaks down when you do physical work. It breaks down.
Yep.
So, I mean, but you and I we grew up differently and had different paths and everything. But I mean, we ended up very similar in how we've ended up. I mean, we worked hard all our lives doing different things, but we're
both very grateful for what we have and what's going on.
I'm extremely grateful to be an American. Extremely grateful.
Yep, love it to pieces.
We hope you were somewhat informed and had fun like we did. Don't forget you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, iHeart, Amazon, Smart Speaker, Rumble, or wherever you get podcasts. That's where it is.
Those pesky little, and if you don't know how to get a podcast, you can just go to our good old website of stayoffmylawn.us for all our past and present episodes.
Right. We'll see you next week, folks.
Toodles, and thanks so much for listening and telling a friend. We appreciate all the growth we've had recently, and we look forward to more of it. See you again next week. Well, we had fun, and hope you did too. The opinions heard here today are not those of anyone other than Mike and Richard. If it made you laugh, or go, or even, then we've done our job. Sort of. Mostly anyway. And if we made you think about things in a common sense manner, we welcome you to the club. And if it didn't, then just stay off my lawn. See you next time.